Yes, we're live. And so, welcome to this broadcast where we're showing you updates from reInvent. We're just back from Las Vegas where we attended the reInvent 2024. As a matter of fact, Richard, our Director of Technology, was at reInvent to learn about the new updates from reInvent. We also followed live, and I brought my teammates, my colleagues, to share with us updates from reInvent and what this means for developers, what this means for business owners, and what this means for larger companies altogether. And so with me here, we have Victoria, we have Victor, and as well as Akim. Over time, they'll be sharing different updates on some of these AWS products. And we're going to start with updates in terms of AI. AWS released a lot with regards to AI, and we'll have Akim share a bit on Nova and what's new in terms of AI stack of AWS. Akim, are you there with us?
Yeah, I'm here. Good
All right,
everyone.
So I wanted to get your thoughts about what you feel generally about updates in AI from AWS. How do you feel about them generally?
Well, I really feel excited, relieved, and yeah, very interested in exploring all of these new features because they are really awesome for me. I can't wait to get my hands really dirty in all of them. Although I've started with few that are most interesting to me, that are most how will I say, they are most interesting and that I really want to, really implement into one or two solutions that I'm working on. So yeah, which one of them is another one, and I'm finding really interesting. Yeah, so basically, yeah, all of the models, all of the new updates that have been done on each of the services are awesome. Right.
Fantastic. So it looks like Nova is like the most exciting updates from AWS in the last reInvent 2024. And I'd just like to have you share with us what happened with regards to Nova, what's new in Nova, and how does it change our lives?
One thing that really interested me majorly with Nova was the fact that I'm able to. So I have an issue. I had a blocker. I wanted to develop uh, a solution for a client. I'm assisting the client to develop a solution, and they require that they want to be able to um, generate videos with text to video connected. We usually have text to image, we have text to text, kind of solutions. So in this case, text to video, right? So, but then for us, there's no out of the box um, solution with AWS that we can use to do text to video at the point where I was having this discussion with the client. However, uh, since reinvent, since the roundup of events, I've actually really been I've not been more excited essentially about than the announcement of the Nova Re, especially Nova Re, because it actually lifted a whole lot of headache from me, and it actually makes the implementation more easier and straightforward now. So now there's a model, right, straightforward from Amazon down to AWS themselves. So there's a new model now that can actually give text to video straight away. Though it has some limitations, but then we can always find our work around it to make it the way we want it to be. So this is one interesting or one thing, and it actually also makes the client happy because it's more like AWS actually like they say, AWS actually develop most of the solutions based on their customers' feedback. So they are more customer centric whenever they are coming up with service now, which is what we're seeing here. So people have always been around, okay, how can we do this? How can we do a text to video kind of solution? And the likes. And Also, when you look at some other features that are also done in terms of um, being able to access various other models on AWS, like the marketplace deployment feature that is embedded also. This is another amazing feature on AWS. So you can imagine you want to make use of a particular model within your AWS ecosystem, and then you're using Bedrock. You just have this model available on Bedrock, so you can easily just uh, deploy this model into Bedrock and make it a bit real quick. So all of the model, there's a model catalog where you can see the available external model from third parties that you can quickly deploy into your Bedrock environment and start looking like this. So these are very great features that are coming up from AWS, and I find them really interesting. They make things more easy, especially for the consumers, for the customers, and also for the developers, for the architects, everyone that are involved in our solution development. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In a moment, we'll just have you share your screen, and I hope you can do a walkthrough for us for the Nova, right? But before we go on that, while you're trying to set that up, just ask Victor. I know Victor and I did the Amazon Bedrock session in August, January Fridays, where we shared a lot about building generative AI applications, transforming text to video, text to audio, and stuff like that in Bedrock. Knowing that we used a lot of the third-party models in Bedrock, and now there's Nova. How do you feel about that update, Victor?
Yes, thank you very much for that question. It's an exciting update. AWS keep reinventing itself and bringing better solutions. So the Nova models are great. According to AWS, they are 75% cheaper than the regular third-party models that are on Bedrock. So it's a lot of cost savings, and it's also very efficient. So yes, I think it's a great welcome development. Yeah, looking forward to using them in the coming days.
Fantastic. So we have Nova models added to the great models that we already had on Bedrock, and now we have Akeem show us if he has a walkthrough on Nova and how it works and some of the things he's been able to play with in Nova. Akeem, are you ready for us?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to pull up my screen in a minute. Just all right. Okay. So this is Amazon Bedrock. I'm sure we're all familiar with this interface. Although yeah, there are some of this on the UI in general for AWS in general. But however, I still just little tip and tricks over there. I don't think I really need to go through most of these features here, but then the major things that we need to spot out, we have the new uh, a new feature on Amazon Bedrock database. We also have the market deployment that I discussed about initially, where you can import a particular model that is not available by default on Amazon Bedrock, and then you want to make use of it. So you can import them from model catalog. So you can just really briefly just first looking towards the model catalog. So you have different model providers in here, and not all of them are available by default on Bedrock. And if you need to bring anyone into your Bedrock environment, you can do that via these routes. So on that place, I will need to just go through the model access. You can see it also has 5 new. So what we are saying here is that it has 5 new models, which are the Nova family. By default, on Nova families, there are 6 in numbers. So we have Nova Real, we have the Nova Pro, we have the Nova Lights, We also have Nova Micro and Canvas. So basically, the last one is Nova Premier, right? So Nova Premier is going to be made available by the first quarter in January. It's going to be made available to access via the Bedrock environment. So just a quick recap on all of these models. So Nova Real is basically the model that we use for generating videos. So it's a text to video generating model, and this is one thing I'm really interested in. So another one is the Nova Canvas is for text image is a text image model. And we have the Nova Premiere, which a multimodal model, and it's usually for complex reasoning tasks and the likes. So we all have the Nova Light and Pro. So Nova Light is usually just like Dixon said. So majorly a model that it's a low cost multimodal model that you can use for light stacks and it's very fast when processing different images, videos or text. While the Liverpool is an highly capable model with combination of accuracy, speed, and cost at the same time. So we have the Nova Micro, which is just the basic text-only model that delivers in a very low latency responses at a very low cost. So it's been said, Nova family, they are very cheap to make it up. And yeah, so let's just get into it. We already have the Nova Real, which is what I'm going to be presenting. We have already have the Nova Real access granted, and to gain access into most of these models, they are just in a few seconds. Once you request for access, and then it's in a few seconds you gain access into it. So we're making use of the playgrounds that we have here. So you can actually you also have access to this playground. Is either you're doing a text to text kind of trial or solution. So you can use the chat slash text program, or if you're doing an image to video kind of solution like the one we're using. So we'll be doing an image to video in our case, and let's just try to open that up. So it's loading. Yeah, so we have the interface now. We can select model. So for our own case, we'll be using Nova Real, that's the video model, and then we have it in the folders on demand. So here are some of the videos that are already that were generated from this. So the first one in this case, let me just show us. So we have this video just showing just two little girls videos they are smiling, and these are just based on a very short text, and we'll just quickly try that to reproduce this video. And so we can see another one, same prompt. However, what changes here was we made an adjustment on the seed. So this actually helped us in optimizing the kind of video that is being generated. So let's just see how that works, and let's just quickly generate one and see how that was being generated. See it live. In just a moment, I want to try to get the. I'll try to get that's the prompt. Hello, can you still hear me?
Yes, please. I can hear you.
All right. But I was the only one speaking to myself. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so I'm going to drop the prompt over there right now. So we have the prompt here. I wanted to create a video, a story of some friends, and blah blah blah. So we have all of the settings by default. You can see this reference image. You can actually upload a particular image if you have one that you want it to show in the video. You can have that image uploaded, and you also get an S3 storage whereby once the videos are generated, it's being stored there automatically. So you don't have to start setting up an S3 bucket for you to have those videos, right? So it creates a default S3 bucket for you, and you can easily access it right from here. And then you have an advanced configuration which is received. So changing this value will help to optimize the kind of videos that are being generated. So let's just generate this one real quick and see the results we get. It takes about 5 minutes. So these are just some of the limitations that are currently on this current version of Nova Reels. So it takes about 5 minutes. This is not a limitation. 5 minutes is quite quick to generate a video, but then definitely this can be much more done better. And however, other limitations include that the videos that are being generated will not exceed 6 seconds. That's at the moment. I'm very sure work is going on to ensure that this is being increased. And the next one is the frames per second value also is 24 max. So we'll run this now to generate the video, and we'll see what's gonna happen. So it takes about 5 minutes. So I think we'll just wait a little while for that to get generated. So maybe David, over to you. Maybe while the
Yeah, so fantastic stuff you've done there. I'll just roll it back to Dixon because I know we did most of the bedrock stuff together. So we see Nova Reels, Nova models, and then we have other third-party models. Considering that AWS initially let Anthropic and Llama use the Bedrock platform for their models, and these APIs are still available on Bedrock. Does it mean that AWS is giving users access to choice, or AWS just feels that they need their own model, or how are you seeing this thing? Is it probably a question of choice, using giving users more access to choice, or is it a question of AWS just trying to push their own models ahead of every other one?
Okay, yeah, thanks for the question. According to AWS CEO, Matt Garman, during reInvent, he made us understand that the main reason for pushing these models out there, including that of AWS, is to give the customer choice, right? So they don't want the customer to be stuck with one particular model provider. So they want you to be spoiled for choice. So if one model is not giving you the result you want, you can always switch to another, that gives you, and then you can always evaluate and compare models, right? So basically, they want you to have a variety of choice, which you can then compare and choose from.
Fantastic. I just remember that still on model and AI, AWS also released Trainium, and I'm opening this out to everyone. Trainium 2, which they say helps improve processing, but does that faster and at a reduced cost. How important is this to the AI space and developers at large who are processing models, building AI applications? The release of the Trainium 2, I think is a chip that's for AI processing. How important is it to the updates that have been rolled out in terms of AI generally now?
I think in regards to the Trainium 2 model that they released, to be honest, is actually an instance, right? That helps in that you can use to train foundation models faster. So it helps in is a very high performance compute on AWS that you can use in training foundation models faster and at a very lower cost. You understand? Training foundation models is very, very expensive, right? Especially even just to fine tune, most of the training from scratch. You understand? So I feel AWS are always trying to do things to ensure that people have access to this at a very, very low cost as much as possible, and also at a very efficient manner. So Trinium 2 is a high performance compute, basically for training foundation models, and it helps in increasing the speed of training these models at a very lower cost using less energy.
Fantastic. So it looks like the video is live now. Is that correct? The video you were processing, is it live now?
Yeah, yeah. It is live now,
Okay.
so we can see the video. This is just a simple video. We didn't make any changes to the seed value at all. So, but then we can just quickly just try out that. So let's just change the seed value and see uh what's gonna happen. We'll see the difference between these two and also what we have initially. So I'm just going to change the seed value here now. So I'm going to increase the seed value and I'm going to run it again. And we can actually drop if we have some prompt, if there's a particular video that you want to generate, you know, maybe for one of your ads, for one of your marketing stuff, can drop it on the chat and maybe you can just try something out. Let's see what will be the best, right?
So I remember that in January Fridays, we did a prompt of Nigeria winning the Olympics. I'm wondering if we can still try that again. So this will be more like a Nigerian athlete winning a trophy and celebrating. So you can just type that in.
Okay, you can just type it and drop it on the chat. I'll just copy it from there.
So I'll type it and drop it on the chat. But while I'm doing that, let's just leave the AI space and just move to storage a bit. AWS released a lot of interesting updates regards to S3, what's happening there, and how can developers and how can the DevOps guys, how can companies take advantage of this new updates in S3? Victoria.
All right, thank you so much for having me. Concerning the latest S3 updates from AWS Re-Invent, they actually released cool S3 features. The first would be the S3 tables, right? Basically, we know that S3 is for unstructured data. It has always been for unstructured data, but following this new invention, S3 can now be used for structured data. And the very cool thing about it is that this data can be queried. So you don't need to use the traditional method of building a data lake that is complex, time-consuming, and also expensive. So with this new feature, you can use S3 now for structured or tabular data, right? The second feature would be the invention of S3 metadata, where companies and developers can now have a streamlined process to be easier for them to search through their storage for a particular file. You don't need to browse through hundreds or thousands of files anymore. So S3 metadata is a really cool feature I would like to try out personally. Then, still talking about data and the latest S3 feature, we have the next feature, which is storage, where companies and developers right now can integrate this feature into their web applications. So you don't need to give your user direct access to your data. You can create an interface. It can be customized, where users can download a particular file or data they want. They can browse, they can, do whatever they want to do with it. It's really interesting because you're not exposing the entire data you have, right? You're only giving them access to the particular thing they need. And you can customize it as well to suit your company's branding. You can personalize the colors, do whatever you want to do and all that. And for companies, yeah, it's really cool because they're integrating this feature into your web application. So cool one AWS did, and generally for S3 tables, you have a streamlined process. Companies now have a streamlined process. It removes the need for having a database, so you don't need to depend on a single database anymore. You can now integrate S3 tables into this. So yeah.
Fantastic one. I mean, these are very exciting updates for S3. I can really relate to the metadata that is now in S3, which makes it possible for developers to find whatever they're looking for by simply querying using the metadata. Very fantastic updates. So I do not know if Akim has been able to put in the prompt for the athlete. Let me just get your feedback. Are you ready, or should we have more time for that?
Yeah, you dropped the prompts, right? So yeah, so the video that we needed to that was waiting for is actually ready. And so I'm just going to drop the prompts in the text now for us to generate another video. So we say we wanted to create a video in Nigerian. Okay, so let's try and run this now and wait while it's coming up. So, but and then I hope we see the difference between the initial video that was generated initially without with the seed at 0, and then the video that was generated when we increase the seed to use the value. So it's just more like we're trying to optimize the kind of video that is being generated using this seed configuration. So that's the essence of it. And you can explore as much as you want to. You can decide to upload the reference image that you wanted to use when generating the videos or something. So yeah, it's open for exploration still.
Interesting. So AWS CEO talked a lot about model distillation, and I'm guessing that's what you have touched on just recently, which is like using a smaller model to achieve what you'd have needed to use a larger model to achieve, which makes it cheaper and makes it faster. So is this part of what you've been doing with the Nova models as opposed to using larger models like Stable Diffusion?
Yeah. So basically, I said the model distillation is just a way to ensure that models are accessible, and basically you don't actually have to get a larger model to do a light start. You understand? So I guess this is the reason why we have various families of Nova. You have the one that's specifically for light starts, and then you get that at a very low cost and also at the speed that you require. But it's a very light model that can be used for various kind of multimodal classes. And likewise, you have the Pro that if you require you require some high rate of processing tasks that you want to do, then you can use the Pro part of it. You understand? So yeah, I feel that's there's a whole lot. The AWS are trying as much as possible to distill that part whereby you actually have a use case, and then you have the best fit model for that use case without spending exceedingly what you're supposed to spend. So in terms of cost, and also you're also getting the value of what you're paying for.
Interesting. Now I guess this is also going to take another 3 to 5 minutes, correct? Processing of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So I think while we wait for this, we can talk about Amazon Q and changes that are happening with regards to Amazon Q. And I think Victor would just share. I'll just leave Victor to share what's new in terms of Amazon Q, either the Amazon Q business and Amazon Q developer. So Victor, What do you think is new in Amazon Q business and Amazon Q developer?
Thanks, David. One of the major updates that has been made to Amazon Q business is that you can now directly from Amazon Q, you can query or receive responses, right, in tabular formats, in diagrammatic, representation, graphs, and all those kind of things, right? So how that happens is that Amazon Q has now been integrated with Amazon QuickSight, right? So that directly from Amazon Q application, you can be able to get insight from your data, right? Leveraging QuickSight's business intelligence capabilities. So before now, you would have to, switch over to QuickSight to be able to enjoy that benefit. But now, directly on Amazon Q, you can get those responses. So basically, if you have Amazon Q Pro license, you can now query your structured data, your databases, right? That are, you can be able to query them and get the responses in tabular form, which was not possible before pre-reinvent. Yeah, so that's one of the major updates to that. The other updates is also around Bedrock. Bedrock has now, the knowledge base has now been expanded to cover not just vector store, it now covers two other features such as Kendra GenAI Index, which is used for indexing unstructured data so that it can be made available to the models, right, to provide a way of augmenting the knowledge of this model so that it can provide a better response to users. And also the other one is the knowledge base with structured data, right? So you can now create a knowledge base for your structured data, maybe your database in the Redshift. That is what for now it's just Redshift, right? Which is a data warehousing solution for AWS. But as in the coming days, they plan to roll out other NoSQL. They plan to add other SQL databases such as RDS, such as the RDS relational databases. But for now, we just have Redshift. So you can now have database for SQL databases. You can have for unstructured data, and also you can use knowledge base as a vector store. So those are the new improvements that made Bedrock.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you very, very much for that update. So I'm just going to read out some other updates that are happening in terms of Key Developer. I really like some of them, but I'll let the house just react to all of them after I've read them out. So the first one is that Key Developer can now generate user tests. Q Developer can now help you create accurate documentation for your legacy code. Q Developer can now help you run code reviews and identify security risks. I know this was possible before, but it has been enhanced. And now Q Developer now integrates with GitLab very smoothly. Q Developer can help you handle Java upgrades and help you upgrade your old Java code to recent Java code, right? And Q Developer can help you move Microsoft workloads or .NET applications to Linux. And when Matt, the CEO of AWS, said this, he made one joke. He took a jab at Microsoft and he said, customers now love an easy button to get out of Windows. Doesn't mean that everybody's trying to get out of Windows. But then the joke here is that with Q Developer, with just a click of a few buttons, you can now easily move .NET applications to Linux. What do you guys think about that generally?
Recently, there's been a lot of improvements to Amazon Q developer, right? They're making so much improvement such that if you're not using Q developer, it will look like you're missing out, especially if you are working with AWS, you're working on using AWS products, and you're not using Q developer. It's like you're missing out, right? So for me, I think it's a great product, and it helps you to kind of solve a lot of problems, do a lot of debugging and all. So as you said, a lot of new updates have been made. So all these things are just to make it easier for customers to be able to, get work done, right? So, a lot of people struggle trying to migrate from Windows to Linux, and there's a lot of reconfiguration that have to be done. But now you have a Gen AI assistant at your fingertips that can help you do that. So, why would anyone want to jump on that? So that's just it. I think there are great innovations, great improvements and additions, and yeah. I just let's see how people use this to improve their work and get more innovations out.
Fantastic. So why would anyone not want to use that? Big question. And so while Victor was talking, I can see Akim is done with the video of. Can you just read out the prompt before you play the video?
Yeah, absolutely. So firstly, so the prompt is just to create a video of a Nigerian athlete celebrating after winning the World Cup trophy, right? So let's just have a taste of the video. So yeah, so that's what was able to generate. So one thing that I want to say, right?
Go on, please.
Yeah, so one thing I want to say is the accuracy of the video also depends solely on how well you construct the prompt, right? So if your prompt is well constructed with all the bits and pieces that you need to see in the video, so it's more like you requesting for you requesting for a Volkswagen, but then you're expecting a Porsche. It's not possible, right? So how you make that request, how you do your content, really matters a lot whenever you are working on things like this. So I think that there's another prompt that we can try out. I think this is well constructed, but then we can just go ahead with other stuff. This is just really just saying how well this mobile model can actually go, especially when it comes to the contents, when it comes to generating a video, just a short clip and the likes. So you understand. Also we can also do some work around, being able to generate various scenes. Maybe if you have a full story that we want to actually develop a video on, then we can break this into down into scenes, and then we'll see how we can actually create videos for each scenes, based on the breakdown that we have and everything. So it's actually really amazing. There are a whole lot of things that you can actually pull out from just this text to video model.
So while this is going on, I just have the house react to the updates generally. Is there any updates I've not talked about that you think that is very important for people to learn about that was announced at the Re-Invent 2024 event? Is anyone?
Yeah, I think on SageMaker. So that's the SageMaker studio.
SageMaker, I remember now. SageMaker now makes it possible for you to have all your data processing in one place. I mean, what does this mean for developers? What does this mean for AI guys? What does this for analyst. And can you just help us understand the implications of this for development and data analysis and processing at large for companies?
Well, just to give a brief of it, you can imagine if you're using Bedrock very well, and you're also using Glue, you can use Glue for processing, just process data basically. You can use it for your ETL jobs and the likes, or probably you also need to have a Redshift. For you to actually bring all of these things together, then you want to plug in. Maybe you have a solution that has to do with your SQL analytics, and you have and also has to do with data processing. And then you also want to do a mobile development on it, and then you still want to have access to some foundation models and have some things to do with generative AI app development, which has to do with Bedrock. So you can imagine having all of these services together, right, in just one view. You understand? So which means that you need not to navigate to any other places. Just from one studio, you can plug in your model training, you can plug in your model training straight into your storage. You can also have your analytics done, your SQL analytics done via Redshift. You already have you're having Redshift already on that same interface. And then you can also do your data processing using Glue, using all the features from Glue, from Elastic MapReduce, and also you can also make it of Athena, also just from the same interface. And likewise, you can still have access to Amazon Bedrock on the same interface. Man, this is really, really, really huge. Like it makes development quite easy, makes development quite straightforward. You need not to be navigating around one or two, and you have all of this. You can actually tie all of this together, to form a very, very huge solution. Yeah, and there's still more to come. Based on what we said, there's still more to come. You can still have Kinesis, you can still have QuickSight, and then also for search analytics too, and also have this eventually. But for now, what is currently available, you having access to Redshift, EMR, Glue, Athena, and Bedrock, right from one unified studio. So you can imagine now other things that are coming soon are that of the Kinesis, you have QuickSight, you have open source services, and you can have access to all of these via the unified studio and SageMaker. So SageMaker is actually becoming more like the bedrock of, should I use bedrock? Yeah, more like the foundation of when you talk about artificial intelligence and when you talk about data, and also you want to talk about ML, right? So you have all of these things combined together in just one service. It's huge.
Fantastic. So our next video is ours, which is fabric shirts, ripple in strong breeze, white colored t-shirts with black palm tree graphics in their centers, hang rippling on a clothesline between two real palm trees. Lush greenery in the foreground opens to a beautiful beach and waves in the background, soft sunlight. That's a mouthful of a prompt. So this is how detailed a prompt has to be to generate the kind of image you're looking for.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's play the video again. Interesting.
I would have said maybe we can actually generate a movie.
So I was going to even talk in respect to that for movies, or you want to generate maybe a short video now that is maybe the length is say 45 seconds. What you might need to do now is to mix different scenes like this, or what's the process going to be like, since this gives us a limit of only 6 seconds.
Yeah, so the process, I think I already mentioned that. So the process is going to be like this. Definitely when you want to have maybe a short 45 seconds video, you already have the thought process. But like you have the scenes like this, we have the script, for that video, and then you can actually break it down into different scenes. What you want to see in each scene, you make it more as detailed as this, like per scene, and then you find a way to connect the prompts also together, right? So maybe like, okay, you like, yeah, definitely you can actually find a way to actually put all of this together, but definitely generating this kind of video and then having another scene that is also little that has continuity. We have to include some continuity into those scripts also into each scene, so that whenever it's done creating a particular clip, it also picks it up from where it's stopped from the previous one and continues, add those consistency in each of the videos. So this can actually be done. We can actually do that by this route. So you create each of these scenes differently, and then you use maybe elemental media convert also a AWS to like match the videos together to make it work. And other services on AWS can actually be used to, you want to add in audio to it and the likes.
Okay, so the next thing I need you to talk about is Aurora DSQL. But before I go to Aurora DSQL, I'm just going to put Victoria on the spot. Victoria, did you ever write COBOL? Did you ever write Fortran? And now that Q Developer makes it possible for developers to be able to migrate legacy code to more recent code, what does that look like for you in terms of wins as a developer?
Okay, nice one, David. Well, I've never written Fortran, right? So with this new AWS invention, right, I'm open to trying it out. I mean, AWS has made this process a bit easier, unlike the traditional way. So yes, as a developer, we keep exploring, right? So yeah, I'm open to exploring this field.
Fantastic. So, Akim, can we just round off with updates from Aurora DSQL? I see that there's a new database engine that delivers about 4 times faster speeds, faster read and write than AWS CEO mentioned Google Spanner in the keynote. What does this mean for people building on AWS Aurora DSQL?
Yeah, for Aurora DSQL, this is a serverless SQL database, the distributed scale database, and it's serverless, which simply means you need not to worry about the underlying infrastructure that the DB actually runs on, or the compute infrastructure that DB runs on. You need not to worry about it. So this actually makes read and write very fast, right? And then having to bring this up is actually at snap of a finger. Like there's you need not to worry much about, okay, I need this amount of compute memory, I need this amount of storage and like, it's serverless, and definitely it takes that operational burden off whoever is going to be developing that. And also when it comes to updating or upgrading, there's no need for you to like maybe have some downtime for you to like update or upgrade your database servers. So it eliminates all of this operational issue. Maybe you want to patch your server, you want to do some upgrades on it. You need not to worry about all of these things. So it's actually a very good addition as a service from AWS. And some of the use cases that you can actually make use of this services. Maybe you want to you create a cloud native application, and then you want to go from startup to enterprise without the need for you to worry about upgrading or factoring along the way. This database will be a go-to one for you, because you won't have to worry about updating or upgrading anymore, right? So your data that has been there right from day 1 remains there. Even when it goes, you don't need to worry about it maybe having some downtime or something. So it scales out or scales in depending on the amount of data that comes into it, and without having you coming in place to do some fix or updates to it. So it's an highly scalable application, and this can actually be recommended for banking industry, for maybe commerce and various other industries that I would love to actually explore this.
Fantastic. So that's the most we can cover today. I'll just give every member of the team 1 minute to share what they feel generally about this updates from AWS, and then how is the future looking. Sorry, I don't expect you to say anything less than the future is looking bright, but just describe what you feel about this updates from AWS and how you see the future with AWS. We'll start with Victoria, and then go to Victor, and then go to Akim.
Okay. Well, with the new updates from AWS, why did you say you don't want us to say the future is bright? Because it's actually bright. But yeah, that's opened a whole lot of field for developers to explore, especially in terms of AI and machine learning. Yeah, so there are so many new things to work on. I think this is where innovation will really come into play, right? So there's so many things to innovate with these new models. Akim has already done justice to them. And yeah, developers, there are so many so many applications rather to build with this. And yeah, kudos to AWS. They keep making life easier for us.
Great, fantastic. So Victor?
Yeah, okay, so the updates, right? The announcement for events, they are quite innovative, and just as expected, there are so many. So the coming days, we look forward to trying some of these updates out, and start building wonderful and innovative solutions. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic. And then we go to Akim.
Yeah, so yeah. Well, I would say that in terms of what we should look out for from AWS again in the future, I really can't imagine, to be honest. I really can't imagine it right now, because if we're having this already, it's more like you're already having some futuristic things at fingertips, and come next event, uh, it's going to be more amazing than this, definitely. It's going to be super amazing than this. So because AWS team are really working really hard to ensure that their customers' feedback, their customers' requests, their customers' demands are being met. And yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, this is something that they work on. So yeah, kudos to them, kudos to the team, kudos to AWS team. And yeah, we hope to see, not even we hope, we definitely would see much more better updates again from next event.
Fantastic. So we do not hope for better events. We definitely know we're going to see more updates from AWS in the nearest future.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. That has been our recap from the Cloudplexo end, from reinvent, served to you hot and freshly baked. Right, and Cloudplexo would always be willing to engage with you to learn about what you're building. If you're building projects with regards to generative AI, or you're building on the cloud and you need our cloud expertise, our senior solutions architects will always be willing to listen to what you're building and learn about how they can help you take the journey from level 1 to level 2 or level 100. And you can simply do this by reaching out to us by clicking on the link below this video if you're on YouTube or LinkedIn, or simply reach out to us via our website, which is www.cloudplexo.com. /contact us. You can easily reach out to us there, and you can send us a DM on either Instagram or LinkedIn. We'll always be willing to have a discovery call with you and learn about what you're building with regards to generative AI or building on the cloud, and learn about how we can support you. Thank you very much for joining us on this session to recap what happened at Re-Invent. We hope to engage with you and learn about how we can help you with these new updates from AWS. Do have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.